In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to paint corroded metal with technical paints, just like I did on the front of this Plague Burst Crawler. Let's jump right in. So first of all, there's a few points that you're going to need for this. First one, the most important one of all, is Citadel's Typhus Corrosion technical paint. It's going to be the groundwork for most of what we're doing here. You're going to need a dark metal tone. I'm using Vallejo gunmetal, Game Air. I like how thin it is, it's easy to work with. Alternatively, if you like Citadel, you can use lead belcher. And you're also going to need some Necron compound or some other lighter metal color. I like the dry brush tone just to kind of give it that gritty feel. And to achieve your rust, you'll need a orange color. You could use Ryza Rust. I currently don't have any, but I find I want to tone it down a little bit more than Ryza anyway, so I just like using a random layer. Alright, let's jump in. I'm actually going to use the back of this Plague Burst Crawler to show you how to achieve this. I'm going to actually work with the back sections here. So first of all, Typhus Corrosion. With this, you want to make sure you don't use a good brush because it will wreck your brush. So I have a couple old brushes here I'm going to use, and I'm just going to give this a shake. And with this, we can paint it directly from the pot. So we're just going to cover the entire area we want to do metal. So I'm just going to do this whole gear area here. You just want to dab it on, give it a little bit of grit. Don't worry too much about a little bit of overspill because that just adds to the effect of this model as well. But be a little bit careful just in case. You don't want to put it somewhere that you don't want it. Alright, now we're going to give this a few minutes to dry. Okay, so I've given it about 20 minutes to dry or so. So as you can see, it has a really nice textured, gritty look to it there now. So, like I said, it's not perfect, it doesn't have to be by any means. So, next step is we're actually going to coat that entire thing with a gunmetal color, or if you want to use GW, you can always use lead belcher. So let's just add that in there. As you can see, the gunmetal really takes the texture of the Typhus Corrosion. It'll really add to the next step that I'll show you. Also make sure your gunmetal color is thinned down a good bit, because you do actually want a little bit of the Typhus to show through. Just for that extra nitty-gritty effect. Alright, so as you can see, you really have that kind of like gritty, kind of like broke down metal look already, but we're just getting started, so let's give this a few minutes to dry and we'll go to the next step. Okay, so we've given this a couple minutes to dry. As you can see, it's settled in pretty good. You can really see the kind of grit and wear and tear on the metal itself, but it's a little bit too shiny now, so let's tone it back down again. So we're going to go back to Typhus Corrosion again, and we're just going to take an old kind of split up brush, and we're going to dunk it in the Typhus. We're going to dry it off a little bit, and we're just going to kind of dab it on, tone down your metal look. You don't have to go too heavy with this, it's all a matter of preference. Just what we're trying to do is just try to turn down the metal, and don't worry about a little bit of overspray, that gives it a little bit of an effect outside, so we're just dabbing. And you're not going to be able to really see the effect of this until the actual Typhus Corrosion dries, but it kind of adds more grit and dirtiness to the metal before we start our next step. And we're gonna just go overspray a little bit there, just to kind of add a little bit of grime and dirt to everything around it. I mean, what's rust if it doesn't spread? Alright, so nice and dirty. Again, let's give it a minute to dry, and we'll come right back to it. Okay, so now that that's a little bit dry, I'm going to do the next step, which is going to be a very light dry brushing of Necron compound. Just using a old kind of dirty, dingy brush for this. Don't want to go too heavy, just want to get a little bit of metallic showing through that grimy dirt that we have here now. So as you can see, it's starting to get that look that we want to go for. Make sure we dry off this brush a good bit because we don't want a whole lot of silver to come off on this now. So just want to catch the edges there a little bit. Don't want to go too heavy on it. It's kind of, these are grinding wheels, so they're constantly going to be turning. Therefore, realistically, some of this dirt will lift off when we turn the wheels, so you don't want it to be completely rusty because it is a moving part. So make sure we get the raised sections pretty nice. Especially the parts that are coming in contact with other parts. So there we go. So as you can see, it looks a bit more metallic now. Next step is we want to grab a smaller dry brush. And we want to start working on some oranges. So I'm going to use two different oranges. I'm going to use Blazing Orange from Citadel. And if I can find it here, there we go. I'm going to use Vallejo Hot Orange from the Game Air series, which works really nice. I like it. So we're just going to start off with this Vallejo Game Air, and I'm going to drop a little bit of it onto a paper towel just to kind of grab a little bit. I'm just going to dry my brush off. And I'm going to dry it off a good bit because this does transfer pretty easily. I'm just going to, and this is creating almost like a yellow tone. So we're going to use this as a start. And we don't want to get it all, but we want to get a nice bit of it. So as you can see, we're getting a little bit of a yellow tone. And we kind of want to bring it over the parts that are raised to the silver. Don't be afraid to get a little bit on the outside too, because we're kind of creating a dingy look, so it doesn't have to be perfect. Dinge does spread. So it's the beginning of our tone. And without cleaning the brush, literally going to move over to the Blazing Orange right away. Blazing Orange has a bit more of a red tone to it, so it will actually create a bit more of a rust effect. It's also a lot more vibrant. So as you see, it's really creating that dingy rust effect as I put it on. Just dabbing it on, giving it some dry brushing, but more of a dabbing motion. Making sure you grab major sections there. And there we have it. We have our dingy metal look. So as you can see, it's not too difficult to do. Definitely had a little bit of an effect. And what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to take that dry brush that I had with the silver. I'm just going to go over the middle sections here because it wasn't quite bright enough for me. There we go, that's better. So brings it out a bit more. There we go. Now we're actually done. So here we have it. This is how to paint a corroded rusty metal, similar to what we have in the front here. And a better view. And I will be doing that on the tracks. I'll be adding on a bit more. I'll probably be streaming this the rest of this build over the coming weeks. But in the meantime, thanks for watching. If you like the content, make sure you like this video and subscribe to see more video content like this. And other than that, happy hobbying.